This is the Amp Hour Podcast, released December 23rd, 2024. Episode 685, Data Provenance in the Home, Server, and Fab.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Contextual Electronics.
It's almost 2025.
'Tis.
2025. The 21st century. And you would think...
A quarter of the way through the 21st century, actually.
Yes, well...
Yeah. Oh, oh, man, we got a lot to do, man. Yeah.
Well,
yet,
one thing the human race has to do is bloody get technology to just work. Why can't technology just work?
Is this a human race problem, Dave, or is this a Dave problem, Dave?
No, this is just a human race technology problem. Shit never works. Nobody's ever invented a printer that just works.
Yeah, okay, I will agree with that. Yeah, we're still.
No one's ever invented a video card that just works and doesn't have video card driver issues. Nobody has ever invented an operating system that, doesn't do weird shit. And nobody's ever invented a bloody microphone that just works every time. Especially when combined with said operating system.
I know. It's a rough go. Go. Dave, we've had 2 days of Dave's mic issues, but I think he sounds great now. So
yeah, well, I had to change PCs. My main PC that I record at is totally rooted for any audio stuff. It works, but it makes me sound like absolute garbage. It's tinny garbage. So
here we are.
Maybe we can edit in a sample of what it actually sounded like. I'll upload it I'll upload on Twitter. And no, you can't just audio. See, can't even just upload audio to Twitter. Yeah. You have to do it as a video.
Just delete your Twitter account. It's probably the best.
No, Twitter's fantastic, dude. You lost that bet big time.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not losing, Dave. I'm not losing.
Trust me, you are.
Okay.
Yep. How's that Mastodon going for you? Those big
great,
numbers
actually.
on Mastodon, huh?
No, it's great. It actually has picked up for me, so I'm on there more. It's just like workflow and life situation. 2025 is going to be the year for me. Well, I'm not going to make any broad sweeping things. The thing that I'd like to do more of is more self-hosting, more interesting, like kind of owning my own stack kind of things, right? So like hosting my own website, fine. It's not like I'm going to have a server in my house, so I'll probably still be on shared infrastructure. DigitalOcean or similar.
Well, if you're going to do it, you got to go the whole hog.
I don't think so, because I
come on
don't want to. That level of convenience is. I'm not going to buy a server. I've
been hosting my own video files for 13 years on my own server. It's not a problem.
Sure, but you have a Penguin nerd. And you also have a server at a server farm, right? It's not in your closet at your house, right?
No, it's not in the closet of my house, but I own it. I own the actual. Yeah, sure. I physically own 3 devices in a rack somewhere.
Yeah. But that's just accounting. I don't really.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
so I would like to do more of that.
It's also a bandwidth. It's a practical bandwidth issue.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good move for you. But anyways, I'd like to learn more of that stuff. More about, I don't know how deep down, there's a very deep rabbit hole. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are in the IT group, or in the IT persuasion, rather. And, there's, you could go as far as you want. There's like a whole subreddit called Home Lab. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
Nope.
But like you can really overdo it. And I hope to not go that deep, but just like things like Docker containers and just recently I just booted my system back up. We talked about it last time we recorded about Home Assistant. You said you were going to be doing some stuff. I was going to get my stuff back out.
I thought about looking into it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because everyone raves about it and goes, but it's just another way to get my solar data out. That's basically it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was for.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I got that. I booted up one of the machines I have here, and I just running it as a Docker container. So a little bit different for me, but pretty painless, and yeah, that's great. So I'd like to do kind of more of that stuff, host it host it on my local network and do that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
we'll see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Sounds a bit too complicated. I just don't want to dick around with stuff. I'm just too old to dick around with stuff anymore. Yeah, I used to love it when I was a young whippersnapper. Right? Yeah, I'd be building my own PCs and rolling my own shit and, coding in bloody assembly language and doing all the rest of it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But, nah. I'm just too old for that. I just want shit to work these days. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I mean, I think I find one of the things is I find it's getting easier to like get stuff booted up. So like I mentioned, like the Home Assistant install, that was relatively painless, but then like the keeping it up, making sure it's working and, like, does it come back automatically after power resets and, all that kind of stuff. Like that feels more onerous and like, there's less infrastructure there. Like when systems are like, really bulletproof, it feels like there's always humans kind of restarting stuff in the background. And that's where I think I lean a little bit more heavily towards I wish this would just work, like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I just like everyone says this, right? Every time I have the slightest issue with Windows or I mention Windows at all, oh, why don't you move to Linux? Why don't you move to Linux? It's fantastic. Never had an issue. Yeah, I know. It's bullshit because there are real people like yourself who use Linux, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Pretty much almost exclusively these days, but you'll be honest with me and tell me it's not some utopia that just works.
No, yeah, I think the thing that would happen there is you'd get a little bit more used to like, oh, I know what this is. You kind of get more hardened against the things that are common, whereas it might on Windows it might be kind of like below the surface, and just like, oh, I guess I'll try reinstalling the program and see if that does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'll try rebooting the whole system. That sort. Yeah, and I think it is. It's just more of like a expectations kind of game.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
I do agree. There are no like perfect systems. I think the best thing you could do is pay someone to fix your problems for you. Honestly, like that's
what I do. I literally pay a full-time Penguin guy to take care of my server stuff for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I just have no interest in learning
he's making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no interest whatsoever.
You figured it out.
Yeah. Well, I was doing this the other day, right? I was trying to get a old laptop working, right? But it had like a version of Windows 10 Enterprise on it, right? Welcome to the land and welcome to the Linus Tech Tips show. And yeah, right. So I wanted to get rid of that, but it had all that like corporate security shit on it, right? So I just wanted to nuke the thing. And, so I was asking on X, what's the easiest, best way to just nuke this and install a new version of Windows. And everyone's going, ultimately it came, a lot of people had complex stuff. And then they go, just install Windows 11 on a USB stick, plug it in, and you should be good to go. So I did that. Sure enough, I was good to go. But then it forced me into a Microsoft account. And then so I'm trying to so I asked on X again, how do I bypass this shit? I don't really want to log in, even though I had no problems with it. I just on principle didn't want to do it. Log into my Microsoft account just to load up Windows.
Your MSNlive.com account. Oh, man.
So then everyone starts giving me advice on do all this command line shit. So I start doing this command line shit and it doesn't work, right? And then everyone goes, oh, no, you didn't forget to disconnect from the network first. You've got to do this command line thing disconnect from the network thing before you do this command line thing. And it's like, I just gave up and just inputted my Microsoft bloody account. Just to And then, even a day later, I came in this morning and people are still answering my X question, right? Because it just sits there and there's no way to mark it.
Shed one, too. Like, there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions about, everybody has a computer, everybody has to deal with OS stuff, so it's like, and Windows is the most popular, so that also means,
oh my God.
So that hits a very solid cross-section.
But people were throwing me the most obscure technical shit at me that I had just do this, and they're throwing words at me that I have no idea what they mean. And I'm not a complete dummy, but God.
Would you like my suggestion, which I actually think is the right suggestion? is rip the hard drive out and put a new one in. That is the answer.
Somebody
That is
did
how I
actually
do
suggest that, but no, I didn't have to
all
do
of
that.
my
I made it
upgrades.
work.
Like, it is so
Yep.
easy these days. Like, and then the nice thing is, if you mess it up, oh, you know what? I can just
Put it
go
back.
back to the other one. Yeah,
I put it back. Yeah, but I wanted to get it working then and there.
sure, of
So,
course, but like,
Yeah,
but,
but
like,
no, I
that
just
is
nuked
clean,
the
you know?
partition. I just nuked it.
Yeah, okay,
So, which
okay.
is same thing.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, okay, so this is interesting because it
Everything's
leads
too
into one of
complicated.
the news stories from this this little cycle we've been in. Obviously, the Raspberry Pi 5 has been released since we last spoke.
The Raspberry is that you're talking about the compute module?
Oh, Compute Module 5. Yes, sorry, thank
Right.
you. Yes, the CM5 has come out. Any impact for you?
No, I just set up a CM4. I just got
okay.
that running.
Yeah.
A CM4.
What was that for?
I was going to use it to talk to my Enphase system. I was going to run Solar
okay.
Assistant to talk to my Enphase system, but I don't know. I could install Home Assistant on it, maybe something like that.
What is Solar Assistant? I've never heard of that.
Oh, Solar Assistant is confusingly named similar to Home Assistant.
Sure, yeah.
But I believe it's totally different, but they do talk to each other in some way. So I don't know. Anyway, Solar Assistant is designed to work with a whole bunch of different solar inverters. So it talks to them via their serial ports or whatnot. And then it just gives you nice graphical displays, and it samples the data faster, and it gives you a nice a remote control panel interface and all sorts of
Got
niceties.
it. Like log into a web page
Yep.
sort of thing. And
Yep,
yeah,
yep,
that's
yep.
great. Yeah.
And
okay.
I believe it works similar to Home Assistant in that you do it as a root thing on a Raspberry Pi or on a PC or something like that, as a root-based operating. Like it works raw, so it doesn't work on top of the OS. It's actually
like bare
a raw.
metal. Yeah.
It's a bare metal is the word. Yep, it's a bare metal install, it's doing the job for me. So, but
Cool.
I'm currently
That's great,
running
yeah.
that on a Raspberry Pi 3, but I need a separate one because apparently you can't get the same Home Assistant to talk to two different inverters. So you've got to use literally a separate Home Assistant device to talk to two inverters, and then the two Home Assistants talk to each other. So it's kind of like physically separate hardware. So
okay.
you can't just run two instances on the one bit of hardware, so to speak. So you've got to,
Yeah.
So it's weird. So, if you've got more than
interesting.
one solar inverter, you've got to physically have one hardware, PC actually for
Yeah.
each one. Yeah, it's just weird.
That's it. Yeah. So that's interesting. Like I said, I was just reinstalling my stuff, and I had been asking around as well about how to do this and poking at some of the AI thingies. And there's a thing called Proxmox, which is a
I've
silly
heard
name.
of that. Yep.
Yeah. So that's like a virtualization layer that you install kind of at just above the BIOS level. And then
Right.
you can install, basically, in your case, I think what you would do is you'd create up like two virtual machines that are on top
right,
of that.
yes, got it.
And then you'd have
Okay.
two Solar Assistant things that are
Yep,
plugged into that.
running on the same hardware, yep.
That's right, yeah. Where does it, how does it actually talk to the solar hardware? Is it like isolated or not isolated?
What do you mean isolated?
So like, is it like serial, just a
it's,
straight serial
it's
connection?
serial. It uses a serial.
interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Not like
Just uses
RS-45,
serial port.
nothing like that?
No, it just uses an
Optos.
RS-232 serial cable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
No,
Well,
easy.
that makes sense. I guess
Yep.
they probably isolate, I guess, on that side of things. Like wherever the computer side is, they're probably isolating from the higher power.
Oh, they would
Isolating
probably
to the actual-
do it inside the inverter. I would suspect they've just like got a electrically isolated I/O like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
RS-232 in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah,
it's
works
interesting. Okay. So, and you're trying to do this just to kind of visualize all this stuff and get it talking
Yeah,
back to a
it
centralized.
gives me a nice panel interface because my the inverter that I've got is just garbage. It's software. It just does not work. It is absolute
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
garbage. So
Yeah. I thought
it's
about
crazy.
our long running conversation a while back about, do you remember how we used to talk about,
the chip printer.
yeah, we did talk about the chip printer. This is not about the chip printer.
Okay.
This is about, remember talking about like tablets that would slide into like the center consoles for cars? Do you remember talking about that way back in the
Oh
day?
yeah, vaguely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
This, I was thinking about it because that was completely solved. Like I wasn't buying cars or anything like that, but that was completely solved by like Apple CarKit and Android, what do they call it?
Yes, Android Auto. Yeah.
Auto, that's it, yeah.
Yep.
That solved the problem because it's just like, oh, okay, well, your phone It's just
Yeah.
like a screen for that now, and like that's all they ever really wanted. I mean, as long as
Yeah,
the
yeah.
car updates
Although
the Android Auto, of course.
mine didn't work the other day. Mine didn't work. I actually plugged my phone in because my phone supports the new Android Auto, and it just didn't work properly. So
Oh, it plugs in for it. Interesting. Okay.
yes, it physically plugs in. Yes, it
Got it.
it needs a USB connection. It can't do it over the Bluetooth.
Yeah, mine does Wi-Fi.
Oh, Wi-Fi. Okay, no,
Yeah.
pretty sure mine
It
doesn't
says
have
it's Bluetooth,
Wi-Fi.
but then it sets up a Wi-Fi connection. I think it's backhaul because, like you said, it's
Right.
like high bandwidth.
Oh
higher
yeah,
bandwidth, I think.
it's very high bandwidth. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do
Yeah.
it over Bluetooth, I don't think. No. So yeah, anyway, that just didn't work, and I was too busy. I didn't want to pull over and try and troubleshoot the stupid thing. So,
Yeah.
No. Yes, I would like to restart my car, please. Turn it off and
Yeah,
on
right.
again.
Right.
My
right.
God. Yeah.
Well, back to the CM5 thing. I went to my source for all things on that, which is former guest of the show, Jeff Geerling. If people don't watch his
Yeah,
shows.
he's done a video. It's been showing up in my feed for every day for like a week.
He's the go-to man.
YouTube's
Algo
really
loves him.
flogging. Yeah, the
they love him,
algorithm's
yeah.
flogging that video till the
he's
cows
great.
come
He's
home.
so great. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. I'm excited to try. I have a CM. Sorry, I have a Pi 5. I do not have a CM5 yet.
I
have an
don't even have a
application where I
Pi 5.
Okay. I
just got
have
Pi
one on a
3s.
whim, but like the stupid dual mini micro HDMI connectors.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, I mean it's fine. Good. I don't really need it's getting to the point where they just released the keyboard too. Like they're really cranking out products, which is great. I'm hoping in the new year we're supposed to talk to the Raspberry Pi team, so that's great. I'm excited to talk to them, but I don't know where this is going. Some of these, like the Pi 5 is far outstripping most of the old crap laptops I have laying around, which is like
Right,
cool.
yes. Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
But I don't have, you and I are not exactly what people would call capable software engineers. So what are we going to run with it? I'm not
Exactly.
running dual K, 4K
I've
streams.
got a company
dual
that
4K
bloody
streams.
keeps sending me these little NUC type PCs.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I've got 3 of them now. I've got another one sitting in the mailbag, and 2 of them. One of them's actually technically higher power than my main desktop editing PC.
Why didn't we use that for the audio today? Come on, man.
Because it's
You
not
should just
set
set
up.
all 3 up,
Yeah,
have
I
a
know,
microphone
I know.
attached to one, and then
Yep.
whatever one works that happen day,
Yeah,
we'll just use that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Multiple redundancy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've got a ton of mics, so yeah, I can just set up dedicated.
Bingo. Just
Yeah.
people
we're
will walk
good
in
to
and
go.
be like, "Are you running a studio here?" No. I'm
I'm
bad at Windows.
Well, the thing is, I've never had a problem like that before.
Oh, Dave, it's fine, man.
It's
Don't
like,
worry about
oh,
it. Yeah,
man,
it
no,
happens
it's
to
pissing
lots
me
of
off.
people.
And I just know every time I'm going to talk about it, people are just going to be hounding
know,
me
it's
about freaking Linux.
Performance
Just,
anxiety. Is that what it is?
oh man, it's just, can't win. Anyway, so
Yeah, so Nux, I feel like the same thing though. I don't have a lot of use for them. I have one now that's running Home Assistant.
I actually took one home, right? Because I've got 3 of them
Okay,
now. So
sure,
I
sure,
took
sure.
one home for the boy, right? Because he's got this
calling
old
the
crappy
tax man.
PCs, right? And I didn't pay for it.
I know. It was a gift in kind.
And so I set that up for him. Look, he wants to play Minecraft, on here. That's pretty much all he uses the PC for. He's 9.
It's a
so,
great
you know.
use. Great use of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I set this up and it's super fast and everything. It was getting 60 frames per second or whatever. And this is great. But then his vlog came along and went, no, it's got too many cords. There's cords everywhere because you got to run, and then I was using a portable screen with it. So, and the portable screen had to have a power cord. It had to have a USB cord, which goes back to the cable and the keyboards and the mice. And it was all too much. So I had to get that laptop working that we talked about with the Windows 11, and that passes. It was just too messy. It was too messy.
Wow, you got the veto.
Yeah.
You got the veto.
Yep, just cables. No,
Yeah, you need that wireless power, man. Wireless power. Yep.
totally. Should invest in one of those Wi-Fi. They're one of those wireless power companies
Yeah.
who are doing
They're coming.
gangbusters.
Gangbusters. Yeah.
Yep. Ah, boy. I was thinking about doing a video going through every single debunk every
No.
company I've ever debunked and just seeing where they're at now.
No.
What?
Oh, okay.
No,
I kind of like
why?
the where are they now. So
Yeah,
that's kind of
yeah.
like the
Yes.
Robin Leach.
Robin Leach?
Lifestyles of
What's
the broken stupid.
right. I don't really get. I kind of get that, but I've never really watched. Yeah.
No, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Famous?
The old ones?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the old.
Yeah. Where
it was
are they
before
now?
my time. It was
Right.
mostly a pop culture reference, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Speaking of
yeah, I was
famous
thinking
people,
about doing that. Yeah.
Our last episode, you talked to Lee Felsenstein. That's
I
pretty
did
cool.
talk to Lee. That was awesome. That went for
Yeah.
over 3 hours. Unfortunately, this is another one where we have to bring up bloody audio.
No, we don't have to bring up
yes,
audio.
we do. Because
on.
this brings up an interesting thing. Because I did several polls on this. I did a poll on X and I did a poll on my YouTube channel. I think I even did a poll on the Amp Hour Twitter feed, right? X feed. In that, because I had to do a lot of audio processing on that. This took me many days to actually edit this 3-hour video because the audio was so bad. We're getting feedback anyway. It was really bad. Okay, it's the worst audio I've ever had to deal with, and so. Because we usually level the audio when we're doing the amp hour, and we've
Yes,
for
we
how
usually
many
level the audio.
Well, we,
yes,
you know,
we.
Our editor, who we don't have at the moment,
You're talking to him.
Yeah, yes. Anyway, so we used to use this old program for what, 12 years? We've used this program or something?
Oh,
no.
It is now defunct. It is no.
It
there
is
are
now-
no new versions.
No,
it
there
sits
are
in my
no new-
Dropbox because I keep installing it in like
Same
Wine
here.
and like
Yep, same here.
incompatibility mode. And
Anyway, it's the Levelator by
Levelator.
Levelator from a company called Conversations Network. I think they were like an old school podcast thing or something.
Yeah, I think
anyway,
they were,
they don't make it anymore. And it's magic. You drop in your file, it does noise reduction, it does proper leveling, not just compression, but proper leveling, and it's just, it does wonders.
It like a
right?
10 megabyte executable instead of like a
Yeah, it's great.
4,000
It's just a
GPUs
single exe.
that are
Yep.
that consume the Amazon rainforest worth of energy and
And it's been it's the most fantastic
thanks
thing
Adobe. You're so awesome, Adobe.
Yeah. But I found that didn't work on my exported, edited audio because there was too much background hiss and there were all sorts of weird artifacts in the Lee Felsenstein video. So I ran it through. I've got a license for RX8. It's called. It's like one of these professional audio tools. And they've got a professional audio reduction thing in there, and I put it through that, and it sounded really great. So I exported that, and then I put it through the Levelator thing, and I thought it sounded okay given the source material. But then got a whole bunch of comments from people after I released that video on my main channel. Got a whole bunch of comments from people saying this sounds shit. This is unlistenable. I cannot listen to this. It is utter garbage. And
To which
all
you
sorts
said,
of things.
Try
And it sounds fine. Okay, there's a few audio issues with it, and it sounds fine. Anyway, so I re-edited another version that had no audio processing whatsoever. It was just the raw thing. And those people who were complaining said, oh, that sounds much better. Huge improvement. So I thought, this is interesting because I think the noise reduction, the processed one sounded, better overall. And so I did a poll. I did a poll, and it turns out that over on X, I think, over 55% of the people said that the original one sounded better. So it's interesting how people have different tastes in audio. I was just surprised. I expected there to be, like 80% of people said that, the processed one sounded shit and the non-processed one sounded fine. But no, it was like, no. So, I don't know. People have these weird tastes in audio and they, they could not listen to it. They physically could not listen to it. They couldn't listen to more than 5 minutes of it. It was that bad to them. Yet other people said, no, this is fantastic, and they listened to the whole 3 hours. So what the hell's going on with humans?
The human ear is actually really hard to model, in terms of like the log behavior of like human listening and stuff like that.
Yep.
But in terms of the personal taste, I don't know. I feel like my ears are all like, do you ever listen to old recordings of things like old Elton John songs and stuff like that?
Sure.
It's just like, It's so quiet. It's so quiet. You know, like it's just like
Right.
my ears are so used to just like fully compressed, like hip
Yeah,
hop
yeah.
music.
It's oh god, they
Sunday,
play.
Sunday, Sunday. You know,
Oh
it's just
god,
like
and the latest
yeah.
doof shit they play at the gym. You know, I'm doing a class at the gym, and it's all doof 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 doof.
That's a different problem. That's
like,
just
holy
you being
crap.
old. That's just you
No,
just being
no,
old.
that's just the music being shit these days, dude.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. Okay.
come
I'll give you
on,
that.
come
Yeah.
on, you got to agree, yeah.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
that doesn't impact your compression, like perception of compression. You're just saying
No,
this
it's
is
just
bad music.
It's just
That's
bad
a different
music.
thing.
It's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
garbage.
okay.
You can't understand the lyrics, and it's just all they just.
That's why I don't go to the gym, Dave. It's really that's the only way to save yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, bloody hell.
Yeah.
This does segue nicely, though.
It does it.
Into yes, it does indeed. Into the big into the big interwebs thing of the week. Mendit Mark, fellow YouTuber, who I don't know. You probably
already
didn't
tell
see
you,
this because you're not on
I
X.
have no idea what you're talking about. The big.
It's on the Reddit list, dude.
Yep. Okay.
But
which one on the list?
people, Chris just did announce to me before the show that he's quit Reddit. So,
No, I haven't quit Reddit. I'm avoiding Reddit.
You're avoiding
that includes
Reddit.
our own subreddit. I'm still there right now. I'm not posting there. I'm posting stuff to my own forum because that's where I am. And yeah, you know, I'm just living a healthy life, Dave. Come on, man.
Well,
Reddit.
actually, there's two audio-related things.
Is this the preamp repair thing? Is that
This
what
is
you're
the
talking about?
preamp repair thing, yes. The £25,000 or 30,000 American bucks.
Freedom Bucks, yeah.
Freedom bucks. Preamp repair. Apparently, I think the manufacturer actually sent it to him to repair, which is the odd thing about it. Anyway, he's a YouTuber who does excellent detailed reverse engineering repair videos on, I think, mostly audio, type stuff. Anyway, he's really great at it. It's a fantastic video. You should go watch it. We'll link it in.
I'll check it out.
And, the only place you can see it is on Odyssey because the manufacturer copyright struck it. They had his video taken down based on copyright because he reversed engineered it and drew his own schematic. And they didn't like the fact that they were showing inside this £25,000 preamp, and it's built like just absolute garbage. Should see. You got to see inside it. If just scroll through the video now, and have a squiz through, and it's just like these like home etched boards or something with plastic standoffs. Oh no, sorry, you can't see it because you don't have the link to the Odyssey.
Oh, so the first one that's on there, that was taken down, you're saying?
That was taken down. The video that's on our Reddit feed is him talking about the video being taken down. So he can't show any
there's
of
no
the
link
footage.
out to Odyssey.
No,
Okay.
no, there's no link out to Odyssey. I won't bother finding it now for you. Anyway, just picture the most homebrewy kind of crappy multi-board point-to-point wiring standoff construction, stacks on stacks of these plastic standoffs which all broke off, and this is £25,000. So he showed this and he ultimately repaired the thing, and they copyright struck him, even though there's, it's a
Can you
totally
explain
bogus
copyright
claim.
strike? What does that mean?
Copyright strike. It means basically YouTube have an automated copyright system. So you can flag a video if you think you're the copyright owner. You can flag a video as, no, this is against I own the copyright to something in that video. And usually you put like a timestamp of where the thing is. And YouTube's rules, I believe, still are that the video automatically gets taken down and you have to basically then take the person to court to get the video taken back, or you've got to elevate it to a next legal step before you can get your video put back. So it's an automatic takedown process, and people actually totally abuse this system to get videos they don't like taken down. In this particular case, the manufacturer didn't like that he showed inside their own product,
I get it.
which looks like total garbage, and he drew circuits of how he thought the circuit worked and stuff like that, so it's a total abuse of the copyright system, and it's easy to actually abuse. Same with the trademark as well. You can say, this video infringes my trademark, and the video automatically gets taken down, and you as the content creator have to then issue a legal challenge to that to get the video put back. So it's a really shitty process.
Yeah, that
And
sucks.
a lot of videos have been falsely taken down.
Yeah, it
So
feels
yeah,
like like how DMCA was used kind of weaponized against people.
DMCA weaponized
Yeah.
DMCA. Yeah, it's the same thing. So
Yeah.
yep, yep.
I found the link for Odyssey. I will put that in the show notes as well.
Excellent,
That's in our
excellent.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, our good friend Lewis Rossman did a video on it, and he has agreed to reinstate the video on YouTube in full on his channel, and he has the legal backing to take this guy to court. If he tries to take it down again. So good on you, Lewis. Lewis has agreed to put the video back up. And then the guy can try and take on Lewis Rossman. Good luck, because Lewis now has very substantial financial and legal backing for the stuff that he does. So, yep, Lewis is fighting the good fight. Yeah, it's great. Anyway, yeah, it's absolute bullshit how, us content creators can just have our content removed based on a false claim. And really, to fight it, you've got to have legal backing. You've got to be willing to go see a lawyer and put money behind it, etc. So, yeah. Really sucks. Anyway, thankfully that hasn't happened to me yet. Where the verdict's still out on the one we talked about with the battery. You remember the, what was it? DCS Systems battery or something? Who they...
Yeah, that was the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep,
The solar battery
lawsuit.
game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I believe the lawsuit's still out on that one. But, yeah, he had to take that to court to actually let him for those videos to stay up. So, yeah.
That sucks.
I'm sure he'll win it, but, yeah, it costs a lot of money. And the only winners are the lawyers. So, there you go.
Yep.
And our good friend, Unmanaged615, has put up a video about the Fairlight. You, being a muso, would know all about the Fairlight, wouldn't you? The Australian-designed Fairlight. It was basically the first digital sampling system that completely changed the music industry.
Dave, I have no doubt that I could be completely out of it, but you saying the Australian, sampling thing is just like, okay, well,
you need to watch the video then. It's on our on our Reddit feed. If you can dare go to Reddit. You can watch it. Anyway, in the early 80s, it starts out in 1980s, this Australian invention transformed music. So I guarantee all the songs you love from the 80s were that they would have sampling done on this Fairlight keyboard sampling system. And it was an Aussie guy who invented it.
I'm looking at the thing, it says Peter Gabriel.
Yep.
That's the only name I recognize.
No, there's countless.
Okay.
Countless
Tell me
people.
some others.
Name them. And they're probably, if they had the music that actually required any sort of like sampling and oversampling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was, sound effects, odd sound effects and stuff. It was all done
Peter Gabriel,
on the...
San Jacinto, Kate Bush, Babushka, Patty Kingsland, The Whale, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax. Okay, there's one.
Right, it's one he's finally
Relax,
heard of, folks.
Go to it. It's one of the plot points in Zoolander where they keep putting that record on when Derek Zoolander is meant to kill someone.
Oh, I haven't watched that in forever. I have to re-watch that because the memes are great. The memes from that are great.
I think that actually might be the biggest song of this from this list of not huge, but yeah, I could see it. Oh, Def Leppard's in there. Okay. Liza Minnelli, Britney Spears.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Anyway, tons of them. It revolutionized the music industry. Absolutely revolutionized it. And it was originally, it kind of, looking at the Wikipedia page, it originally was a construction project in Electronics Today.
Like that. I thought okay, got it.
Back in the 70s. And then he hired Peter Vogel, the guy who did that, hired Peter Vogel to actually design this Fairlight thing. So he's now famous in the industry for basically inventing music sampling. So, and it had like really cool spectrum displays. Like it actually hooked up to a screen and you could like view all the waveforms and spectrums and like it was really, really cool stuff. So
Yeah, that's great.
now it's absolutely trivial, right? But back then,
Right.
Yeah,
Now it's like an iPhone. Well,
oh, you
not even
can
an
do it
iPhone.
on a Raspberry Pi compute module, and
Motorola
a
Razr.
1,000 times better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And anyway, I tried to get Peter I tried to get an interview with Peter, but he didn't get back to me. So he's here in Sydney. I think he's up in the Blue Mountains somewhere.
Okay.
He's around
Yeah.
still, and I wanted to do an interview with him, talking about the old Fairlight design, but unfortunately, didn't get back to me. So
Okay. Well,
oh well. Anyway,
keep trying,
very
man.
cool.
Keep trying. Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of the Fairlight.
I
I'm
Different.
real as a muso. I'm very, even a modern one. I'm very surprised.
I have specifically avoided all things synthesizer.
Oh, okay, right.
I was posting on
enough.
Mastodon, as you know, as I have been doing now. But I've been watching a bunch of woodworking videos,
Yeah, right.
which is like the worst idea because it's
Yeah,
like
right.
there's no other hobby that's just like, oh, did you have some money that you wanted to spend and just like throw down a hole on tools? Like, okay, great, yeah, woodworking is for you. But someone pointed out that buying synthesizers is actually a very similar kind of like
Oh, okay. All
enterprise,
right.
just because it's like
Yep.
there's the variety and like don't I need that hyper specific one other tool to do that one thing?
Yep.
That one time. Yeah, that's I think
I
synthesizers also hit that.
I gave away an old Yamaha. I think I might have found it in the dumpster an old Yamaha. No, I might have sold it. Yeah, I sold it.
Okay.
And then I found it in the dumpster. Oh, Yamaha synthesizer thing. It was quite, it was one of like the, fairly high end ones, I think. But I have no use for it, and it's enormous. I don't need it taking up the space.
Yeah, right.
And stuff like that. And the guy who came to get it, he actually came to my house to get it. He actually collects these things, and he's got an entire collection of Yamahas. He specializes in actually collecting Yamaha synthesizers.
Yeah, but
And
his partner's
and
like,
he
why
didn't
couldn't
have
he have
this
collected
one.
miniatures?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
There had to be
because
friggin'
these things are
keyboards.
enormous. Yep. Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was very pleased to get it. And
That's great.
and it had some issues, so he was going to fix it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So yeah, people get obsessed.
I used
with
to have
this
some
sort of
vintage
stuff.
keyboards around. It's
Right. Okay.
It's, it's easy to pick them up, and they're fun to fix too. But they're
Right.
they're bulky, And,
Yeah. Definitely.
and no matter how many synthesizers or electric pianos or really anything I fix, I'm still not good at playing the piano, so
Right.
nothing really fixes that.
Wait until you get to the guitar effects pedals.
Oh yeah, well, like
boy.
Fran, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
I think that's probably a good crossover between the two. Yeah, exactly. Except those
Crazy.
are more portable. That's what I'm saying. Like you can really.
Yeah, but you get addicted. Oh, this one has a slightly different twang to this one,
Right,
and it's
right,
like,
right. But none of those.
Yeah.
I used to have those back in my music days too. But
Right.
again, nothing actually makes you good at guitar. That's the
right,
downside.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Anyway. Yeah, Fairlight. Anyway, very cool. So I'm going to have
Yeah,
to
cool.
actually watch that. It's an 18-minute documentary. You can watch 18 minutes. There you
Okay,
go.
I'll do it. Dave.
Yeah, excellent.
For you. I'll do it for you.
Thank you very much. Yep.
I think things they will be making documentaries about someday, but I think they'll be boring. Is about the current strife happening at Intel. That was
There's strife.
Pat Gelsinger resigned.
Who's that?
Retired, technically, the CEO of Intel. And
Yeah, as
the
if I follow bloody Intel. I don't care.
Well, I think it's a big deal because Intel has been kind of going down the shitter.
Well,
in so many
that I've
ways.
kind of heard.
Yeah,
in
right.
Places.
They have been. You know what's interesting about it? Is they keep talking about. Remember how like my prediction on here for years and years and years and years was like, I bet they're going to get into the foundry business, and then eventually it was like, oh, they're getting into the foundry business, and now
They want to get back
Pat
in, don't they?
Gelsinger gets pushed out because they're so bad at the foundry business. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. So,
Yeah, but aren't they building new foundries? Didn't they just get some new Uncle Sam bucks to?
They did. Well, yes. And I don't think they're giving up the foundry business. But foundry, not the foundry not the actual fab, right? Like they are building new fabs, but the foundry business being like making, so basically like being a dominant process player, right? So like
Right, okay.
TSMC
Yes.
is a foundry where
Yes.
you show up, you buy their capability, and they will make the top notch stuff.
Yeah.
That is, if they can squeeze you in after NVIDIA.
Yeah, right.
Right, and it's like, okay, They are a foundry. They're the best example of a foundry. Samsung has some foundry capabilities, but that's not their main focus.
Yes.
AMD really they spun off Global Foundries, which is still an operation, and many of the things that are around, even the ones that are like Skywater, the Skywater PDK that runs with I forget the name of the fab that's up north that runs all the open source stuff. That's also a foundry where it's you're basically fabless chip companies are coming to you and doing that sort of thing. So like Intel started to get into that, as opposed to famously for most of their existence was like, okay, we're doing our own thing. We're keeping all of our stuff secret. We're all of the best process stuff goes to us because we're bleeding edge, and they've just fallen behind on all things. So like there are some documentaries out there about Intel and really just a lot of news stories about it. But the big story is that now their leader, he gone,
Right.
and now they have done the thing that really shows they have no idea what they're going to do, which is appointing dual CEOs, which means there's no CEO. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's always my take on that thing. Is like, oh, dual CEOs? You mean you couldn't decide, or there was a fight in the boardroom? Like,
Yeah, right.
who cares? But that means you guys don't have a leader right now, because, boy, even if they're both
Oopsie.
up on stage, the knives are out. You know what I mean?
Right.
They are ready. They are ready to pounce. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Intel, no good news there, except maybe things will change. Maybe some shakeups. So we'll see.
I've just
But yeah,
stopped
they got a lot of-
caring anymore. Like modern processors are just so like
Yeah, it's the excess
Who
we
the
talked
hell
about.
needs 'em?
The Pi 5, right? It's like that times a gajillion, right? I mean, like, yeah. It's not for us, Dave. We are the
yeah, but so
underlings
that
to the
some
underlings to
gamer
the
kitty
underlings.
can get an extra 2 frames per second on there. They're going, oh, this one's 2 frames per second better than this one. Oh,
No,
oh.
I mean there is some
Like,
very significant,
man.
I think, national security interest stuff. And,
Oh, I'm sure, but like that's a
yeah.
very limited market.
No. I'm saying like national security and also like all the AI stuff. Really, the big thing. I think the thing that Pat Gelsinger will be remembered for, and this is me speaking, not having read too much about it, is that basically he just like completely ceded to NVIDIA, right? Like
Right? Yeah.
they're so TSMC kind of blew them out of the water on the process side of things. ARM kind of took over some of the server, not completely took over, but AMD's nipping at their heels, ARM's nipping at their heels. RISC-V is growing like crazy, although still a small share of the market. But longer term, I feel like RISC-V is the jam, and it's just like x86 has continued to play in the pools they've played in, especially the server market where they seeded all GPU stuff, okay, and then all the other stuff they just kind of lost on lots and lots of fronts. So I don't think he'll be I don't think he'll be remembered well, unfortunately. Like as I'm sure he's a fine person. I don't know him, but I think that like when people look at his tenure, I think they're going to be like, whoa, he really crapped the bed, So yeah.
Well, was it a matter of was it a matter of them crapping the bed, or was it a matter of them not being in that market and that market suddenly became huge and caught them by surprise, kind of thing?
I mean, you could say that
They were
but
never big in the GPU space.
Sure,
Like
right.
they did have their GPUs that were embedded inside the Intel processors, and they were pretty good actually, especially for video encoding and stuff like that. They were pretty good, but they were never a dedicated GPU maker, for example. Well,
That's correct, yeah.
Well, there is one. They had some obscure one. What was it? It was called, I don't know. Was it Edison? No, what was it? Not Edison.
I don't
It
know.
was some weird named after some inventor or something. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, they were never really in that market. So can they be blamed for
Sure, I think
losing
they can,
that market
because
that they
look
never had?
Look at the only real competition I feel like NVIDIA has is AMD, and that's also Intel's competition. So it's like possible that large-scale processor makers could do that sort of thing. So like, yeah, you can. It doesn't really have any impact other than like this is a huge brand that just like
Right.
it's just going away. Not
Well,
going away. It's losing relevance, really, is what it comes down to.
Well,
And
I've heard rumblings that NVIDIA, they're not on the rocks, but they might be being handed their hat as the leader in AI stuff. Because there's a lot of, because apparently
Did
there's
you
a
hear
lot
this
of...
on X? Is the whispers on X, Dave?
Yes,
Is that what it is?
absolutely. Because
Gotta trust it.
Because new
follow the
research
smell.
comes out all the time in that new AI algorithms, in quote marks, right? That new ways of doing things makes the NVIDIA stuff redundant, and by next year they could be, their massive AI GPU things might be redundant. Because
of what?
Because they've found new ways to do that AI stuff in way simpler hardware. Way simpler hardware. So they don't need these massive 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter freaking dies, right? To, and that are worth, $200,000 each for each chip or something, right? They've found the ways to do that AI processing in much simpler hardware. And this research is coming out all the time. So I wouldn't bet on NVIDIA. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, you think I'm going to be wrong? Fine.
So if we get a time
I'm just
machine,
relaying.
If we get a time machine,
Yep.
and I can go back like 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet on Nvidia.
Sure, but I'm saying.
You're saying like into the future? Yeah, I mean they're super hyperinflated.
I'm saying
like,
I'm not talking about next year. I'm talking about maybe in 5 years' time or something. They could lose the edge because the reason that they have the edge is because at the moment they need to make these massively huge, expensive dies, complicated dies, right, to do all this AI shit, right? You've got to pump, and they've just mastered that sort of niche in the market, right? And that's why the new XAI Center, right?
Oh my God.
That has like 100,000, right? Why? It's the world's biggest AI center. Why can't I talk about it? Because you don't like Elon Musk?
That's exactly right.
Dude, get over it.
Also,
seriously.
It's just such a load of hype and like, oh man.
It's
not, like you're like on there and you're like, I'd like some more Elon hype, please.
Dude, it's not hype. It's a real freaking AI center. Have you seen the video of how they made the damn thing?
I have not. No.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Dude. just lose the Elon derangement syndrome a bit, and you might actually, anyway, they have one of the world's biggest AI centers, right? They just built the damn thing with like 100,000 NVIDIA GPUs, right? It's a massive AI center. And if in 5 years' time you can do that same thing on your shoe phone, because they found new optimized algorithm, not quite. I'm kind of, being a bit hyperbolic there, but you know what I mean, right? These a new algorithm, a new way of processing that someone comes up with might make those really high-end AI GPUs redundant. So, or not redundant, but you're chewing all that power when you can do it in much simpler, much cheaper hardware. In a few years' time,
I think the software folks are going to keep finding new uses for this kind of stuff. So I'm not too worried about that.
Right? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You can pivot to something else. You can pivot to using that hardware for something else. You don't have to use it for AI. I don't think. I think it has fairly generic use. You can simulate your nuclear weapons on it. I'm sure.
So just let me get this straight. So you said. Everybody's talking about a YouTuber with a copyright strike, and everybody knows about the XAI thing, but you didn't know the CEO of Intel had been forced out into retirement.
Nope, didn't.
Okay,
just didn't happen to show up in my feed.
Got it. Okay, not in your feeds. Yeah, okay.
Fine. Simply tell me who I should follow.
I think what we're really saying to each other is we need to go touch grass. That's what the kids are saying these days.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I'm touching more grass than you did.
You probably are. Yeah. My favorite thing from this whole reading about Gelsinger is actually one of the past guests of the show. He posted about the news article, and he said when it said that Pat was retiring, he said, "This is Luke Wren. Based on historical trends, I predict the number of Intel co-CEOs will double every 2 years."
That's good.
Isn't
That's
that
good.
amazing? Yeah.
I like that. It
Yeah.
actually needs a name.
It's
law
Ren's
needs a name.
law.
Ren's
Yeah.
law. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so good.
Okay. I will endeavour to find that and repost that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
That's
good.
great. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Well, how long did the last CEO? The CEO just got booted.
He was only there, I think, 4 years.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's long enough,
I
I
don't know.
guess.
My stuff is so out of date that I'm like, when was Andy Grove there? Like last time I heard about Andy Grove is him passing away. I'm like, okay.
Oh God, 80s, you know.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, the 90s for
Ma-
sure. Like he
maybe
was like
into the 90s,
he was
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
he was,
growth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, he was the growth guy. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep.
But then again, you know, the whole industry has been turned on its head in the last 4 years. Right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Well, you can say AI really hit its straps when ChatGPT was released. That's when it became into the public consciousness. That's when there was a mad scramble for every man and his dog to put AI into everything. And, you know, it's going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. And then 100 companies suddenly appeared on the bloody NASDAQ thing with, you know, AI in their name or whatever. And yeah, so it's only been, 3 years? When was
since ChatGPT?
Yeah, since I know ChatGPT was around before that. You know, it was around for, you know, a year or two before that. But, you know, when it actually hit the mainstream, when ChatGPT 3, I think it was, came out. And
Yeah.
sort of,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's not that long ago. So, you know, you can't spin the Intel ship in a few years like that. I guess it's hard. But I guess, yeah, being in the industry, they should have seen it
Yeah,
come,
they were already
right?
behind though when that came up.
Right.
I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You know,
Anyway.
actually, one of my markers for like when that stuff started happening was I go back through amp hour art, and like, you know, like the early stuff. I think the Fry guy one was the first
God.
time we did. That was the one. The 604 was October 2022. Was the first time we did AI art.
Right. Yep.
On the amp hour. So that's.
And now we're doing it
Golly.
all the time because it's just so easy and great.
Yeah, it's easy.
You know?
It's
Yeah,
generic
it's just,
and
it's
it
fantastic.
doesn't really have much impact for
Right.
us. But I think that was the first one. So that was October 22. So
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So it's only
Yeah.
been a couple of years.
yeah. Well, let me tell you about some software that is going to change the world, Dave. As you can tell, I'm
Go.
really
We're terribly excited about software.
FreeCAD version
Yay.
1 is now available. Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm going
We're out
internally
of
berserk.
beta. Unfortunately, it is still FreeCAD. So
Yeah, I tried it like, oh my God, we're
Yeah.
talking
When's
at
the last
least
time you
6
tried
or 7 years ago or something.
Oh
because
my
everyone,
God.
when people
Ooh.
raved about it and said, just try this.
No,
Oh
no,
my
no.
God, that was garbage.
yeah,
That
that's
was
real
red
rough.
hot garbage.
That's real rough.
No, that
The
was
new
just-
stuff is better, and it's less broken. You're definitely gonna have to learn like the FreeCAD way, right? And so, are you doing any modeling these days, like any
No.
parametric? I feel like my brain is still like based on Fusion 360. So even though I guess that's Fusion
Okay.
360 from like 5 or 6 years ago, so like that's like my basis for things. And I mean, FreeCAD has its own flavor style of doing things, and I still prefer the old Fusion. I'm very forthcoming about that. I don't.
Right.
I don't like. It's definitely a lot easier in the other way. But
Well, changing
the
the
price
you
is
know,
right.
if they change the UI and stuff, that does a lot. I can remember
yeah,
OBS, right? Every man and his dog uses OBS. Dave, why don't you use OBS? It was because when I first tried it, it was, you know, like a decade ago, and OBS was garbage.
yeah.
The user
yeah.
interface was garbage. That's why I use XSplit, right? And then OBS decided to actually copy the XSplit user interface. Like
Yep.
completely, almost down to the pixel. They copied the XSplit user interface. And then when I came back after that, I went, oh yeah, OBS isn't too bad now because they copied the XSplit interface. But I just kept on using XSplit because I've been using it forever. It's like, you know. So yeah, things do
Yeah.
change. And sometimes you just, you know,
Yeah, I
been
think that
burnt
does
with
matter.
an
I
old
mean, like,
version or something.
KiCad hired someone to start doing like logo or icons and like more UI UX type stuff too. It does matter, you know. It's like it's a workflow tool
Yep.
that you're in there every day. It's basically like you
Yeah,
would
I'm
pay a
using
physical
mine
therapist
several
to make
times
sure
a
you don't
week. Yeah,
get a repetitive injury to sort of thing. So
right,
like yeah, like bad UI is like a repetitive injury that you're
right.
you know accepting. I don't know. So, anyways, there is a blog post. There's a video that kind of shows some of the new stuff, which is great.
All right.
I'm hopeful.
Okay.
I'm going to use it regardless. But
No, once
yeah.
again, it's one of those things where I want a tool that just works. That
Yeah.
just work. Like I just
would
want
be
to do the
interested to know
simplest
what that
shit.
is. I'm interested to know what that is in the mechanical space, though, too. Because it's like,
I will tell you what it is in the mechanical space.
okay.
I used eMachine Shop, right? Back when I was designing my scientific calculator watch, right? I wanted to
Yeah,
design
but-
my own custom case, right?
but is that because you knew it? Like,
No, I downloaded it and it just let me do shit in the first couple of minutes of me using it. It was, okay, I draw a drag here, draw a rectangle, round these corners, do a cutout. You know, like it just worked. And I tried all these other CAD tools, including FreeCAD and all bloody every CAD tool out there, and they were all just garbage. No, I had to watch a bloody 2-hour tutorial just to get a box with a hole in it. You know, no, it's bullshit. You know, and then on top of that, it gave me, and then you could analyze this eMachine Shop software. Not only was it just intuitive for a dummy like me to use, but then it would tell me that, no, you cannot manufacture that because the in cutters, you know, the router bit's going to be too small, blah, 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 you know, and it would highlight or it would do all these DRC kind of errors.
this is like, this is from the actual manufacturer. Is that right?
eMachine Shop is a company that manufacture parts, but they also have their own software.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so I assume they're still going. eMachine
Yeah, they're
Shop.
still there. Yeah.
And they've got their own. So I assume they wrote it themselves, but yeah, they've got their own free 3D CAD software. It's like the mechanical equivalent of one of those online PCB places that have their own software.
Right.
What's their?
This
you
is
know,
like the JLC.
the JLC have their own software, right? What's it called?
I can't remember.
Yeah, the JLC PCB software, right? Which is free to use, and it's
something
great if
CAD.
you're just doing the something, you know. Maybe.
Yeah, and it's like the tight coupling to the manufacturing. Actually, that is
Right.
the benefit.
Yes,
I feel like.
and that is the once again, that's the benefit with the eMachine Shop software is that it ties into their manufacturing capabilities, so they know exactly what they're capable of manufacturing, and it just instantly told me that, you know. They
I'm
could do
trying it right now. I am not seeing what you're seeing. Well, I'm trying the web version. Maybe you did the.
Oh,
Windows
okay.
version.
No, it was an executable back when I did it.
I can't figure out how to extrude. I probably shouldn't be doing this live. I should be.
Yeah, well, okay, right. But
It's interesting though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I figured it out in 5 minutes, and I had this magical new scientific
3D, there you go.
calculator watch case all done, and I was posting it on the calculator forums at the time, and everyone was going nuts because I had all these 3D drawings in like hours of posting, you know, like yeah, it was really cool. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think it always comes down to those kind of things too. It's like, really, so, respect. That's great. Like, use the tool that works, right?
Yeah.
The interesting thing in that case is always, man, I cannot get this to work. I got to close this. This is not working for me.
That's fine.
Where does it run into stuff? So, like, are you gonna have to redo
Oh,
stuff
of
then at a
course.
certain point, right?
Of course. But sometimes I don't want to get that complex, right? Just like somebody's doing a PCB, they don't want to get anything more complex than the little Arduino double-sided board, plug
there's
on.
probably times that
they
JLC
want,
software or equivalent from other manufacturers, right, would have been
totally.
because like the tight coupling means that you can't
would have
buy
been.
what doesn't exist.
Yes,
like I try
right.
to do on my designs.
All right.
Yeah.
And it's there's a market for those sorts of software. So I
Totally,
won't begrudge anyone. You must go and use Altium or you must go and use KiCad or something like that. No, if that works for you, great, use it.
that's great.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Yep.
I think we're racing towards KiCad 9 as well. So
No, there you go.
Yeah,
Haven't even used
yeah.
KiCad 8 yet.
FreeCAD 1,
All right.
KiCad 9. Yeah.
FreeCAD what?
Is 1.0. That's why it's a big deal. Is because it's been a 0 dot blank.
Oh,
for
has it?
years and years and years and years
Okay,
and years. So that's
right.
why it's a big deal, because it's like a first official supported version.
Right.
Like that's yeah. So
Oh,
it's like coming
God.
out of beta effectively, but it's really just like it's like they're grown up. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That reminds me. DJ Delory. DJ Delory,
Boy, that sounds familiar.
who I've met at a conference once. He was a similar background to me. He used to publish projects in the magazines and
Delory.
win contests. DJ Delory. If you look at, I've got an interview with him way back.
That's maybe what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Right.
Okay.
He actually wrote his own PCB software, which was he was the major contributor to it. What was it called? Oh God, I'm trying to look for it now. GEDA. GEDA.
Oh, okay, I know that
Yes,
one.
yes,
Sure.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. GEDA. He was the main. I don't know if he actually started it or he just become the main coder for GEDA.
Yeah,
GEDA PCB. And it's like GEDA is an open source thing. Same as KiCad. In fact, it probably would have been better than KiCad back in the day. But KiCad just took off and got lots of support and etc. And poor GEDA didn't. So anyway,
Yeah, I remember GEDA because Wendell from Evil Mad Scientist, he was a big fan of it.
Oh, was he? Okay,
resources,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, there were a few people who were fanboys of GEDA, because it was open source back before open source was cool.
I remember they had a really good. I used the Gerber tool from GEDA. That was a really good Gerber tool.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, it was. I think I may have used that at one point. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they had a separate tool, right? That did Gerbers. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi to DJ if he's listening.
Yeah, right.
Not sure what he's doing these days, but yep. He's cool. And GEDA, I haven't heard of GEDA in the last 10 years, maybe.
Same.
So yep. I think it just died on the vine, so to speak.
Yep.
Sad, but there can be only one.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, there can be only one big open source one that's going to dominate, I think. I think with any tool like this...
But,
no, you disagree?
Well, I guess it depends on the size of the industry, but look at I don't know, JavaScript projects. There's, a bunch of massive projects. But maybe if you do the Venn diagram of people who are good at writing C++, people who want to work on tools, and people who actually know how electronics works, there's probably a pretty small group of people that are like that group of developers and open source enthusiasts as well. That's probably not big enough to support a ton of projects.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
That's why I think KiCad became the dominant sort of, and there are, a few other open source ones out there, but it
I
just
like to
became
think it's because of me, Dave.
Right.
Right.
It's all
not. It is not. But I'm very excited that many people are using it. That is for damn sure.
No, it's great that there is an open source option out there.
And they keep having conferences too that I just hear about. There's one in China. There's actually a bunch of great talks. Yeah, they had one in Shenzhen. They had one in Germany. They had one. I don't think they've had one in the U.S. in a while. They had one in Spain last year. So I think they're doing kind of a couple per year now, which is great.
Is China? Does anyone know? Please let us know. Does China still predominantly use Altium? Because Altium used to just dominate China. It just they weren't paid for copies. they were almost all illegal copies, much to Altium's total disgust. But it was just the package in all of China. It's like if you had some farting gadget, that was almost certainly designed in Altium. Yep. So, it was just the thing. So that'd be and that's why, I mentioned that because, they had a KiCad conference in China. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bunch of talks. So I'll post a link to the YouTube channel. There's some good talks, a lot of them. So
very interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking at so Dave mentioned I'm not on Reddit as much. I am posting stuff occasionally to the Contextual Electronics Forum. That would be the place to look if people are interested.
There's a Contextual Electronics Forum?
Who knew? Who knew? Yeah.
Right.
That's also where the consultants forum. You've heard me talk about that.
Oh, okay. Yes. Right. Oh, there's a subsection
There's
on
a
there.
private section that is for
Right,
consultants. You can apply
Right.
using a link on the front page of
Got
the
it.
consultant contextual forums.
Cool.
But I'm also posting just kind of articles live about our good friend Matt. Matt Venn is doing the 0 to ASIC analog courses starting up.
Right.
There was an El Camtuf post that was fun. QuickTel parts are going to be made in Ohio. Did you hear about that?
Nope.
Yeah,
You're
Eagle
a stomping
Electronics.
ground.
Yeah. Although I don't know what part of Ohio. It's really interesting. Like because of, who knows what tariffs are going to be in the new year. I'm sure we'll talk about those in depth as things change. But
Yep.
they're going to try and basically QuickTel is actually like teaching the people in Ohio how to build QuickTel parts in Ohio. So they're like setting up a new manufacturing facility. It'll be truly US made, but with like Chinese IP and Qualcomm chipsets. And it's just like, this is a weird world we're living in.
Interesting. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll link
great.
that in too. Yeah.
Awesome. Local manufacturing. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see why you don't like Reddit anymore. My page is just filled with ads. Like every third one is like an ad.
Like,
do those go away if you log in?
If you go to old.reddit.com is better. It's the old way of doing things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that works on all pages, I think. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the
I'm
old
not
view.
logged
That's
in at
like.
the moment.
Yeah. Oh, if you're not logged in, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Because I am using a different machine at the moment.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah. Lots of other links there too. Thanks to Unmanaged for posting stuff there, and we'll continue to post into multiple locations. If people have thoughts, you can always email us at feedback@theempire.com, and we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Catch you next time.
See you soon.